we'll replay the Kevin Kernan interview coming up here in a little bit, but I did want to make this announcement, what's going on Tuesday in Waterbury. R.J. Sackett is a detective in Waterbury that was shot in the leg, and they are throwing him a pasta dinner to help his family pay some bills. It will be at the Waterbury Pal on 64 Division Street from 5 to 8. That's Tuesday, March 4th. Tickets are $20, and so if you can or can't make it, I will give you some information a little bit later on, the phone number to call. But that is a pasta dinner for Detective R.J. Sackett from the Waterbury PD, March 4th, 5 to 8 p.m. We're going to replay the interview from Kevin Kernan coming up here at 5:25. He talks about Shohei Ohtani will be back in May to pitch for the Dodgers. Could pitch tonight, but will not pitch tonight. So basically the information was kind of a little bit fuzzy.
I don't know. I think
making
he wanted
his
to.
debut. I think he wants to.
He wanted to.
But when you say debut, I think pitching. I don't think DHing.
Did anybody announce Harper's debut?
No.
Hitting?
No. Nobody. Devers, Alonso, Bregman, all these guys. Ellie De La Cruz, his debut. I just... to kind of spoof everybody into wanting to watch this game, I don't need to see this guy get 2 at-bats and then go hit in a batting cage. I wanted to see Shohei throw.
You know how much tickets were? $70, lowest ticket.
That's insane.
Spring training
That
game.
is some misinformation. That is some, false advertising.
False advertising. I think
Damn
so.
you, MLB.
I think so. That's some false advertising.
For a
man.
week, I thought Shohei was pitching tonight.
The pitcher I want to see is this Cal Quantrill from the Colorado Rockies. Every time he strikes somebody out, Dibs, he jumps up and does the splits. Isn't that awesome?
No. Because when he gets hurt and he pulls a groin, we're going to play the groin injury, but he's going to hurt himself. Why would you do that? I understand, a little
rubbing it in,
gyration with
baby.
your arm
Making
or whatever.
a name for himself.
Who's the guy? What did the one guy
Turning
do,
some
like
heads.
the bow?
K-Rod, right?
No, the dude who had the crooked hat, closer. I don't know what his name was, but whatever.
Go ahead. What was it?
Was it Felix?
Felix, yes, King Felix.
No, it was not Felix. It was
No, we
the
think
other.
it's
The guy
Seattle,
was
though,
on the
right?
Rays. Then he was a closer for a bunch of other teams.
All right, I'll
the
get it
Latin
for you.
player. But
Anyway, Cal
he did the
Quantrill.
whole bow.
Yes,
He shot you with his arrow. I kind of dug that.
Oh, you like that?
Juan Berenguer used to do something where he smacked his glove and smacked his. He kind of gave you like a little
Fernando Rodney.
Fernando Rodney.
Yeah, K-Rod. What'd I say?
You said Felix
Well, that's Ashmead. I think I said K-Rod.
Rodriguez. Which was the K-Rod?
I thought that was Fernando Rodney. Isn't that what they call K-Rod?
No,
because
no.
K for strikeout
there
and
was
then
another-
Rod for Rodney.
Oh, that kid's up for the Hall of Fame. I think he just didn't get any votes.
I don't know. Fernando Rodney's who's shooting the bow.
But I liked Fernando. He just always had the crooked
Now,
hat.
Cal Contreras is like a Michael Jackson split. Like it's or I would say more like James Brown. It's like a James. Remember when James did a couple of twirls and then jumps up and lands on the split? And it is a James Brown thing.
Very few men can do that maneuver, man.
There's so many unwritten rules that I scoff at, but this one's like, man, no, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to charge the mound on this.
Here's where unwritten rules don't apply. If you can do that consistently, it's like a martial arts move. I'm not gonna be like, wow. I'm going to be impressed.
He has been doing it.
Have you ever seen pitchers? We have I'm pretty flexible.
Oh, I
but
see
what
what
I'm
you're
saying.
saying. You're not athletes.
We're not athletes.
Right.
We're pitchers. We have trouble covering first base. Right? We can't hit. Guys doing splits out in the mound after a strikeout. I'm impressed. That's pretty impressive. I mean, Randy Johnson's not doing splits after a strikeout.
Because he's got respect. He could.
No, he could not.
He could, but he's got respect
Big
for the
unit
batter.
could not. He'd hurt himself.
Here's another.
You're not running him real tight the next time he's up after that?
No, because pitchers don't hit anymore.
I mean,
Bartolo Colon.
somebody on his team needs to pay the price, though, right?
You think Bartolo Colon could do a split?
Yes.
Who was that big turtle-looking dude from the Red Sox? Rich Garces?
Oh, yeah.
With no neck? You think that guy can do a split? If that guy did a
He can't
split,
touch
he
his
couldn't
toes.
get up.
No, he
He couldn't get up.
He did a somersault. He did a rolly.
I don't even think he saw his unit for a while.
I'm with Kurt, though, man. I think somebody's going to wear one for Colorado in minors or in spring training just
Let
because.
Rockies suck. Why you don't care?
Which one would you get?
That guy would be entertaining. Who are you going to hit? Chris Bryant?
Ezekiel Tovar, maybe? I don't know.
I see. Then I would have a problem if I'm on the Rockies and you drilled one of my guys because that guy's a turd.
Right.
I'm like, dude, seriously.
Who are you mad at? You mad
Right.
at?
Are you mad at him?
No. Who would you be if you're on the Rockies and that guy's a turd and someone gets drilled on your team? Are you mad at the
those
pitcher
kind of
or the
things
guy who
didn't
drilled?
offend me. We laughed at people like that. If you drill one of my guys in the ribs, then I'm offended. You take my guy out second. That's an offensive, egregious action. But you roll my catcher, then I might take action. But, dude, look at that. You'd laugh at that guy. You'd be, look at that idiot. Remember Turk Wendell used to hop over the thing, used to brush his teeth with licorice. He did all. I'm like, okay, he's kind of. I can't even say it on the air because I'll get in trouble. But you would mock that guy.
So there is a big situation going on in the Minnesota Twins organization.
This is brutal. I read this guy, and then I read this guy, what he's saying now after he said what he did.
So
go ahead.
Derek Bender, the catcher in the minor leagues, he's been accused of tipping pitchers to other teams. Now, this is from last year, and we were talking about this when it happened, and this was vague of a lot of details, and Derek Bender himself has yet to say anything. He came out just recently. The Athletic published this Friday. I'll live with this until the day I die. I never gave pitches away. That is the quote from Derek Bender, but his teammates and other teams are saying
every teammate
elsewhere.
says differently.
Yeah.
Every team. See, he's now. So what Bender's saying now is different than what he said last year. Last year he said, "I want to go home. I'm done with this season. Yeah. I want to hurry up and get the season over with. They're in the playoffs." And so basically was telling the other team what was coming, which is one of the worst offenses. Almost as bad as taking PEDs, but cheating your team and telling what pitch is coming is awful. Especially from a guy, 6th round pick. You're going to have to work your way to the big leagues as a catcher. But if you have some skills, you got drafted, and it's just it's nobody will trust you ever again. No, I can't trust a guy on my team to do stuff like that. Remember the guy who stole a glove in spring training from the Yankees? They released that dude because it's like there's certain things that's like there's codes of conduct, and then there's like that. And so then this guy's like, well, everybody else was saying I was just letting balls go through my legs because I wanted to. Listen, I've seen guys let balls go, but that's because they had a problem with somebody. That's a little bit different than you sitting back behind the plate going like Crash Davis in Bull Durham. Hey, here comes a fastball. Mm-hmm. So, and then the guy hits it and he watches like, hey, I give you a tip and you're going to sit there and do that. Run around the bases, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the worst things I've heard about in a long time, especially at the pro level of you telling what's coming because you want the season to end so you could go home. So he probably will not get another job. I think he's going to play independent ball.
Exactly.
But
yes, you are correct.
This is embarrassing for you.
Yeah, and it's embarrassing for the organization too. Like that, I think a lot of this.
Well, you let a lot of people down. I always like when I was working my ass off. I always had in the back of my mind, Mickey White was my scout. Larry Doty was the head scout. These are the guys that drafted me with the Reds. I always, and then my high school coach and my parents and my friends and everybody's pulling for me. I don't want to let you down. You let a lot of people down with this stuff, dude. Going all the way back to Little League. You shamed all of these other coaches because they all taught you etiquette, and that's against baseball etiquette.
Good point. I think about this in the transfer portal world for college coaches, especially in my world of college football, of like, you have to, and I'd love to talk to more about this and what he does. Like, you have to have a different playbook every single year at least. You have to change up your terminology, your signals every single year because you got so many people that you're teaching this stuff to. And then they're going to Maryland. They're going to Clemson. They're going to somewhere else, and we're playing them. And they, UConn's a different story because it's an independent. If you're into SEC school and you go from one school to another in the same conference and you're going to play that school coming up.
But we've discussed this with baseball. Like guys that are like Bregman on the Red Sox, when they play the Astros, if you don't change your signs, if the Astros don't change their signs, shame on them.
Right.
I mean, remember the guy who didn't change his password, even though the guy he went in and stole the password. Why didn't you change your password when you went to a new organization on your website or whatever, your your email or whatever, and the guy was able to get into your stuff? To me, it's on you to change your stuff.
So in the world of football now, in college football in particular, like if you do I'm going to transfer after 4 weeks and I haven't gotten any time, you have the playbook, you have the signals, you have all that, and you have yet to sign up for another school. Like you're going to be in the window, you got to wait till December. You're telling me you don't have friends on other teams? This has happened in NCAA, and these schools do not talk about it because it's embarrassing, and they don't want to let people know some of these tricks and trips that people are doing. So it's happened, man. When you see a kid or a professional athlete that's not the top echelon guy, that's not in the news all the time, and all of a sudden they're gonzo, sometimes it's talent, sometimes it's need, sometimes it's they're giving up secrets or they're stealing something from the organization. It could be something as little as like a bag or swag and just walking out with it. As soon as an organization, college schools included, know they can't trust you, you're gone,
absolutely.
Man. You're gone.
How about that
then
coach?
We got to switch everything up.
Was it a player or coach that left the playbook in a hotel lobby or something like that by accident? And somebody found it.
Kirby Smart. This is Georgia national championship. Yeah. It wasn't that long ago.
No, and it's just it was dumb, but
it wasn't Kirby, but it was. Somebody
I don't think it was
staff.
intentional,
Right.
but it's still. I'll never forget. Listen, Kirk Morrison. When I started working with him at Fox Radio, and he had all his defensive plays on his iPad.
Think about that,
because he was still an active player, and I'm like, he's carrying that around. Imagine losing that or forgetting that and not even maybe even locking it up and somebody found that. I mean, those are things that you're responsible for. You have to have some accountability.
That stuff scares me. See, I didn't grow up in the world of computers yet.
Technology.
That was a little bit later in the football world. So, we still had books and paperwork. If you did not have that book in front of you, I can see you do not have your playbook. Where's your playbook?
Right.
I lost it. Uh-oh. Now the red flags go off, and now we got to change things. In Kirk's world, Kirk's only 5 years younger than I am, I think.
Yeah.
He's San Diego State. They got high tech stuff. Let's just imagine someone hacks into that, and Kirk doesn't know. No one knows that someone is actually into your playbook or your signs for pitching and catching.
Right.
That is even more of a detriment because you don't even know you've been found out yet, and your stuff has been leaked out there. It's a crazy world that we're in with all of the different things you got to watch out for.
But what I wanted to get at is part of me giving you the playbook is you're responsible for that.
Correct.
As a 20-year-old man or a woman, yeah, you're responsible, but still it's to grow up.
Yes.
Hey, don't lose this. Don't forget it at McDonald's. It's important. That's part of what makes you an athlete. And these days, I think there's even more emphasis on that. It's kind of like a test. Mm-hmm. And so if I can't trust you to walk around with your iPad or whatever with all this information, and no, it's not state secrets or whatever, but it's our team secrets. You should be able to not lose that stuff.
Couple of hit by pitch news. Adam Benintendi,
Is he out for the season?
No, 4 to 6 weeks. He is a White Sox now. I know we don't really like the White Sox these days, and they're not very good at baseball.
I was a White Sox. I'll always.
But we do like Benintendi, and he got one right on his hand.
I'm sorry, Andrew.
He had to bop out. Now the other news: Bryce Harper back after 2 days getting hit in the face.
That
brim of his hat, not face, but brim of his hat.
Harper during a game a couple years ago got 95, 96 right in the face.
Yeah.
That dude went on his whatever gram and was like, I'm okay.
Oh, I remember
Don't
this.
you remember? I was like, that is one tough dude. I don't care what anybody says, whether you like him or you don't, that's toughness. And that's actually getting out there ahead of the story and being like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I mean, There's guys that I used to marvel at. They would pop right up and it'd be like, I'm okay. Listen, we all need to make sure you're okay because you took one, you got domed. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget this. This sticks with me and will forever. Solomon Torres of the Pirates hit Sammy Sosa in the helmet. His helmet exploded, and he didn't go down. And I was like, whoa, that dude's tough. I know. And it was just like, I was scared for him because I saw Dickie Thon get hit. He was never the same. I saw JT Snow get hit by Randy Johnson in spring training. Yep. Never the same. Some of these guys, I'll tell you what, Stanton got hit in the face. Yep. I have a lot of...
Still doesn't drive.
Yep. But I still have a lot of respect that guy still stands in there and he plays baseball still. There's some guys that, listen, I have nightmares, and I didn't get hit in the face pitching. I still have nightmares where the ball's coming right at me, and it's going to take my face off. Mm-hmm. So it's just for some of these guys, man. When you wear it in the head, that's a different thing.
I'm a Harper fan, man.
I love Harper, man. I think he's good for the game.
Yep.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Kevin Kernan. This is a little bit long, but it's a lot of fun. Awesome. It's a great listen. Every time he's on here, he's a lot of fun, a lot of information. Kevin Kernan, ball9.com next.
91 southbound delays.